Hey, I'm Gordon Beckham. This is episode 3 of Athlete to Athlete. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Charlie Condon. He's going to break all my records, and that's good with me. The National Collegiate Baseball Player of the Month for February. How have you, the start of the season, you had such high expectations coming into the season after last season. How have you been able to manage that?
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes from, internal and external sources. You talk about expectations coming from people outside the program and then people within the program and then from yourself. I think baseball's a game that expects a lot out of you, whether that be coming from you. And so that's something that I try to keep constant all the time is like last year, my freshman year or redshirt freshman year, I was expecting a lot of myself. And I know that people might not have been expecting as much as they were from me this year as they were last year, but just keeping that constant. And so as long as, I'm expecting a lot out of myself, it kind of keeps that consistent for me.
So you're saying that the expectations you place on yourself are generally always higher than what other people's expectations of you?
Correct.
Well, that's pretty high because people, especially the way you started the season, the way you went through the whole year last year and just kind of came out of nowhere, so to speak, but seemingly you were doing what you knew you could do last year, and now you're just going to build on that this year.
Right, yeah. Last year was good to get my feet on the ground and, get experience playing college baseball after a long redshirt year. But, yeah, just being confident in the preparation that I'd put in to put myself in that spot and knowing that this team and this staff and my teammates that have helped me get here, they had faith in me too.
Yeah.
And so that's makes it a lot more comfortable to play with.
I got to ask, redshirt, did you have a chip on your shoulder because you were redshirted, or do you think it was a helpful thing for you to get bigger, stronger, whatever?
Sure, yeah. Initially, there was probably a little bit of a chip, just because you show up and you prove that you can be a player here and be a guy that can contribute, and then you've got to take that year. So, yeah, for there were some times where maybe it maybe aggravated me a little bit, but hindsight 2020, definitely nothing but a blessing and an opportunity for me.
Sure.
Like even now there's places that my game needs to develop that still need to get way better. And so last year, or my freshman year, there was a lot of that. And so just having that opportunity to go to work, get big in the weight room and get my college at bats in and things like that. So it's just, fine tuning your game. And so, yeah, it was definitely a big time opportunity, and I'm thankful for the opportunity.
Sure. So you were named the Gordon Beckham MVP last year.
Yeah.
What does it feel like now where I'm coming into Athens to interview you?
Yeah.
Are you going to win it this year? You think there's a chance that you can win it again?
We've got a lot of really good guys. It's going to be in the running. That's what makes this team so exciting. We've got so many contributors and so many different pieces that are big factors of success in this program. And so, obviously it's something that you want to have your name to, but it's an exciting race every year.
Well, you keep going the way you are. It might be the Charlie Condon MVP after a few years, but it does seem like the guys, everybody's racing up to the bat rack right now. Y'all are raking, and you're right. It's coming not just from you. You've been awesome, but it's also coming from guys throughout the lineup. What's the difference from last year to this year? Is there a different vibe? Is there different motivations? What is it for y'all to come out, and y'all have come off, at the start of the season and just crushed it. So what's going on here?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the season, we were like, if baseball was a game where you could bat 12 or 13 guys, I think we would be the best team in the nation, not even close, just as far as depth goes. We've got that many dudes that are going to be really productive in this league and then going into conference play. And so, with matchups, you've got guys coming in and out. You've got guys comfortable coming off the bench into big spots. And so, everybody's just ready to go all the time. It's next man up mentality. And just being able to cycle guys in and out, and people are comfortable on the field and just putting the best lineup out there for each given day. So that's just the depth. It's unbelievable.
And is that depth coming from transfers, or is that coming from guys that were here that are just getting maybe a different voice is getting into them, and maybe it's a positive voice, maybe it's motivational, but is it guys that have been here, or is it more the transfers that have come in and energized the program?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I think that with the transfer portal being so big now, you kind of have to be involved in it in order to have success at this level. But I think a lot of the success that comes from those guys coming in is them coming into a culture that's already been established. And so that's where I'd say that the returning guys play a big role, is just making new guys come in and feel comfortable playing with this group. And so, yeah, it's the talent that they bring, and then old guys stepping in and filling new roles, and being comfortable in a program that they've competed in, but then just making new guys comfortable, and just having them be ready to go as soon as we get out there.
Now, it seems that y'all made it very easy in terms of transition for them, because y'all seem to have great chemistry. I was here the other day with my two boys, and we were hanging out in the dugout, and it just seemed like y'all were just so relaxed, and you just show up and you just play the game that you know how to play, and then there's not a lot of pressure.
Right. All right.
What are your goals for this year and your career overall?
Yeah, this year, right now it's all about the Dogs. The Dogs are heading for another postseason run, and that's what I think is really exciting about this year. We're obviously off to a great start, but it's early. Competition obviously picks up once we get to league play. We talk a lot about, even when we're not in conference play and we're playing midweeks against teams like Stetson and schools like that, you're going to get everybody's best punch every time, because everybody wants to come in and beat the SEC school. So in a way, the competition that you see preseason and things like that really prepare you for conference play, just because everybody wants to beat you that bad. You got that big of a target on your back just because you play in the Southeastern Conference. But yeah, as far as goals for this year go, it's hosting a regional. It's getting the postseason coming back to us, not just being a part of it, but taking it by the horns and really running with it, getting this team back to Omaha and having success from there. Just get in it, and anything can happen.
That's right. Yeah. All right, career. What do you want to do?
This game has been so good to me. Just for as long as I can remember, it's brought me so many good relationships, and just playing this game for as long as I can. If professional baseball is a thing in my future, just being a part of an organization that wants me, and being a centerpiece of something like that, and then again, making postseason runs with them, because that's what it's all about. Is you win and you have success, and that's why the game's fun. So just continue to pursue that, and being a part of something that's bigger than myself is really what pushes me for baseball.
Yeah, and being able to keep that perspective, especially throughout your career, is going to help, because it's not always on you. It's not about what you're doing. It's about what you're doing in a group setting, right, and how you're contributing to that group. And I think that there's going to be a professional career for you. I already have been speaking to a GM that I know, and I'm trying to somehow get you down to the fifth pick. But we'll see. We'll see if we can make that happen. Yeah. All right, so a little bit, you're going to have to maybe go back into the history books here. Who is on your UGA Mount Rushmore?
My UGA Mount Rushmore. Okay, so I got to go you first. That's the easy one.
I almost feel like you kind of have to say that, because if you didn't put me on there, it would be a little bit awkward for the rest of the interview.
A little bit. I'd go you. I'd go Alex Wood. Let's see. I'd go Kyle Farmer.
Yep.
And then last but not least, let's see. I'm trying to think of someone that maybe was here while I was here. I'll go Emerson Hancock.
Emerson Hancock. Okay. That's a pretty good Mount Rushmore. Do guys call you Chuck?
Yes, they do.
Chuck Condon sounds like an action hero from the 80s. I know you were probably born in the 2000s.
Correct.
Oh, my God. But Chuck Condon does sound like you could be an action hero from the 80s. So I was born in the 80s, and a lot of Chuck Norris type of jokes are coming in my head. And one that I saw was, and this pertains to you because you're a really good baseball player, but it said, I'll just say Chuck Condon skips from March 31st to April 2nd because he never gets fooled.
Yeah.
And you haven't. I looked it up. 20 walks so far, only 8 strikeouts. One I saw the other day was a bad call. I was at the game with my boys, and you're not getting fooled up there, right? Obviously you feel good, and the competition right now is not what it's going to be. But you've started off so well. What does it feel like when you're in the box right now? Does the ball look, like a beach ball? Talk to me about it. I remember this back in when I was at Georgia, but when I got in the big leagues, it didn't happen as much.
Shoot, I know you know all about that, but yeah, it's really just about showing up to the plate with a consistent approach every time and knowing what you're looking for.
What is your approach?
Without getting too deep into it, but it's
you don't have to give away your secrets.
Right. But it's just knowing what I do well. hunting pitches, mistakes is kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for anything up that I can drive, get me over pitches, just making sure that I'm a tough out every time I get up there. And, so much of hitting is not about you're only as good as the pitches that you swing at. And so discipline, that's something that I've come a long way since freshman year. I was a little bit of a free swinger when I first got here. I could hit a pitch pretty good if I got one, but it's about earning it. And so I feel like half the battle with hitting, as you know, is just discipline and knowing what you do well, and having that controlled aggression approach to where you can drive something when you get it, but then also being able to take your walk when they're going to give it to you.
Well, they're going to give it to you. I can promise you. I can't. I've been thinking about this. I can't believe that they're throwing to you now. I mean, I saw you have 6 intentional base on balls so far. If I don't have to throw to you, if I'm an opposing team, I don't throw to you. And so you're going to have to, at some point this year, you're going to have to be okay with that.
Right.
And it's going to be hard for you to basically be saying, okay, I'm going to get walked here, or I'm going to take my walk because I know I'm not going to get anything to hit. And you're going to want to sometimes stretch your zone because of that.
Right.
And you've got to be so disciplined to not do that, right?
And this group makes that easier.
Yeah.
Going down the line, I know that if I'm batting in the 2-hole, I've got 7 guys behind me that are going to get the job done. And so that's what makes that really comfortable for me, is just knowing that if my job is to get on base and let other people hit me in, so be it. And so just having confidence in them, with such a strong lineup this year, if that's going to be the case, then so be it. I mean, it's good for the dogs, and that's really what matters at the end of the day, is just having those guys behind me and in front of me that really get the job done even more than I do.
Charlie, it used to be called Gordo's Greenhouse, okay? There's a chance they could rename it, maybe Charlie's Condo, Chuck's Condo, something like that. I think it'd be okay to allow you to have that mantle. I'll never forget, they had that sign up there when I was playing in 2008, ended up hitting a home run, and then Gordo's Greenhouse played my walkout song for the next 3 innings. Literally the 7th, 8th, and 9th, the last game I played on this field, my walkout song was blaring. So all you heard was Josie's on a vacation far away over and over and over again. But you've already got 9 homers. My record's 28, for the season, 52, or I think it's 52 or 53 overall. I mean, are you coming for me? Or, is that in your sights? If you continue doing what you're doing, I think I'm going to get blown out of the water, and that's okay. But what are your goals in terms of, you've got homer goals?
Yeah, it's hard to have homer goals, especially when you're chasing something like that. Like, that's I got a long way to go before I get anywhere close to that. But it's just about trying to put good swings on it. Sometimes, they're going to go out of the yard, and sometimes they're not. But as far as Gordo's Greenhouse goes, I don't pay any visits up there very often. So I think that one's going to stick with
I think you're going to start getting some invites here sooner rather than later.
I know. You probably parked a whole lot more balls to the right side than I did.
Well, I saw one that you hit the other day. You completely mishit it, and I think it went over the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I was watching you hit the other day when I came up for the day and was watching everybody just practice, and you were mishitting balls out. Yeah. And I think that things that people don't understand is the power that you have. You don't even have to get it, and you're still hitting home runs. For somebody that doesn't know what that feels like, and they're probably like, what do you mean he mishit a ball 400 feet? Like, how nice is it for you to be able to have the strength and the power to be able to mishit a ball and go over the scoreboard in right field when you mishit it? How nice is that?
Yeah, it's a lot of that's just, it makes you comfortable not swinging at 110% every time.
Right.
And I think that's a big part of it, is knowing that I don't have to come out of my shoes to get every stitch of it. And so that just allows me to it helps me with barrel control and, just putting good barrels on it all the time. And I think that's where a lot of that success comes from, is just knowing that I don't have to come unglued every time I swing. And so, yeah, that's definitely a nice aspect of
Somebody once told me, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Right.
And it's like, especially when you're here and you have the metal bat in your hand, you don't have to cheat for anything. And if you miss and if you get blown up almost with a metal bat, you can still go deep to right. And so that's such a luxury that you're big and strong enough, and you'll grow into your body more, that even in the big leagues, you're going to be able to do that in the big leagues one day. But for now, you don't have to do anything besides, just like you said, just an easy swing is going to get it done.
Yeah.
All right, so Charlie, like in 2008, we came to the park. We didn't even have the lineup, I don't think, that y'all have now, but we came to the park and we believed that we were going to win, and we just found a way to will ourselves to win. After the comeback victory against Georgia Tech the other day, what is the feeling in the clubhouse about what y'all can do this year? And was that comeback win maybe just a starting point for how good y'all could be?
Yeah, you came in and talked to us right before the season started about like taking things kind of personal and, just showing up to the field every day knowing that you're going to get the job done and you're not just going to win, but you're going to win by how much. So, kind of taking that mentality and, we've been in a lot of close games here recently, and just the chill, the vibe that's in the dugout is always like, hey man, we've got the talent. Exactly. They might not be falling for us right now, but we're not going to, press the gas pedal and try to force something to happen just because it's not happening right now. And so going down the stretch, being able to have success in close games is massive because, you look at SEC scores and so many of those games are decided by one or to three runs. And so just being able to have success there is huge. But, yeah, there's just a very low panic level whenever things are, kind of scuffling in the beginning of the games, but just knowing that we're just going to keep having good at-bats and keep doing what we know that we can do and what we've prepared to do and just try to have success from there.
Okay. So defensively, we're talking a lot about your offense, right? You obviously are hitting a lot of homers. You're doing all the things that you were expected to do offensively. But defense, we always thought you were a first baseman, but you've been playing third. You made a couple diving plays the other day when I was here, and you played center field last night. So where's your best position? Where do you feel most comfortable? Where do you have to work on the most?
Yeah, I think my freshman and sophomore year, I definitely would have gone straight to first base as being my most comfortable spot. But I think that's where my game has grown the most. Recently with Coach Johnson coming in, letting me play more positions and inter squads and run around out there just as far as, lineup versatility and things like that. But I'd say I feel really comfortable at third base too now and in the corners. And, as the more I play center and things like that, I think that could be a comfortable spot for me too. But, it's really just about being just a moving piece for this lineup. And if the team can have more success because I'm bouncing around, then I love it. If that's going to help the Dogs win, then I'm all for it. And just being disciplined and batting practice and getting reads out there because, people ask like, hey, how different is that change, moving from infield to outfield and back and forth. But if you really go about your business during BP and in practice and you're getting reads off the bat, it's like you've already played 20 games out there or something like that. So just being disciplined about your reps and things like that.
And I can promise you, if you can play infield, you can play outfield. Okay, just take it from somebody that did a little bit of that when I got sent back to the minors. All right, so we're both from Atlanta, right? We grew up in Atlanta. What made you want to stay home and go to Georgia?
Yeah, growing up in this area, so my parents were both SEC schools. My dad went to Auburn and my mom went to Vanderbilt, so I kind of have that SEC blood within me. And then growing up, I always went to Georgia football games and some Georgia baseball games and just being around this campus. And then once my older sister decided to come here, we were around it a lot more. And I'd say that's kind of when the script flipped for me, just as being always a Georgia fan. My cousin played football here, and just kind of growing up always being a Dog fan. It was a no-brainer for me when this opportunity came across my board in high school. It was really a dream come true. Like, it wasn't even on my radar for a while just because I didn't know if it was going to be in the cards for me. But then when it came across, it was like a dream come true.
It wasn't much of a decision, right? It was I'm going.
I took it on the spot.
Yeah, it's funny. When I came here on my recruiting visit, it was a Sunday because our high school football game on Friday with a hurricane got pushed to Saturday.
Oh,
and David Perno at the time didn't want me to come because he was scared that I would come on a Sunday when nothing was going on and I wouldn't. But I remember walking onto this campus, and I do think that he staged this. A really pretty cheerleader walked into the SLC or something like that, and he was just like, and I thought that was interesting, and he was like, yeah, there's plenty of that, here, and it was just hilarious because I walked onto this campus and with nobody on campus, with nobody running around and a football game going on, I remember feeling like this was home.
Right.
And it's far enough away from Atlanta to where we can get away from our parents. We love our parents, but it's also we have this buffer to where we can be ourselves and we can grow up. But that feeling of being on this campus, being from Atlanta, hometown, home state, that was something that I called Coach Perno right after the visit, on the way home. I said, I'm coming. That's where I'm going.
It's a no-brainer. It definitely gives that home feel, whether it be, in the fall for football games, and you've got it's just like one big family. The town changes so much on game day atmospheres, and you just see everybody coming together to support the same thing. It's so awesome, and it's just such a good fan base filled with good people. And that's what it's all about. It makes it so much fun to come out here and play for people like that truly have your back and truly want you to succeed. It's just a program that I don't think you can find stuff like that many other places. And so, yeah, obviously being from the state of Georgia just makes it that much better, but it will always be home.
Yeah, I remember when my dad played quarterback at South Carolina. I remember when I was trying to decide, it was between South Carolina and here in Georgia Tech.
Right.
And he just said, hey, if you want to live in Georgia long term, go to Georgia.
Yeah.
Because it's like you'll play there, you'll be living in the state. It just makes a lot more sense.
No doubt.
And it was so obvious to make this choice to be a dog, which is the best choice I ever made.
Same here.
Who is your biggest inspiration?
My dad, for sure, easily. Growing up, he was the one who got me into baseball. But, even more than that, he's who has kind of always kept my head on my shoulders. So just growing up, being around him and my brother and my family as a whole, they'll always be my inspiration and just making me want to be a better person every day.
Favorite meal in Athens?
Oof. Goodness gracious.
You can get, we'll break it up. Fast food here in Athens, and then dinner or sit down.
Okay.
Date night.
Okay, I'm a Firehouse Subs guy till I die.
Okay.
I will always be a Firehouse guy. And then as far as a sit-down spot, I'm a big Ted's Most Best guy. So
Ted's Most Best.
Go get a pizza. I love that. And then also the ahi hibachi. It's a smaller spot, but they've got good stuff there.
Because the hibachi thing brings up unfortunate, bad memories for me. I gained. You ever heard of Choo Choo? Choo Choo used to be like kind of a fast food hibachi place, basically. And my junior year, I probably went there at least once a day, possibly twice a day. I was weighing 180.
Yeah.
I was weighing 200 at the start of the season. Everybody's like, man, you really bulked up. I'm like, yeah, I just kept eating the worst food. No offense, Choo Choo, but it was not good food for me. And I gained 15 pounds of, we'll just call it fat.
Might have to get on the Choo Choo.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. And then 5 and 10.
Okay.
Is 5 and 10 still around?
Yeah.
That was date night.
Nice.
5 and 10.
Nice.
Favorite athletes all time, any sport?
Yeah, I would say Freddie Freeman, Chipper Jones. Growing up for baseball, were always the guys. Just being a Braves fan, growing up them. And then I'm trying to think of some other sports. I was a big Drew Brees guy. I wasn't always a Saints fan, but I always enjoyed watching him play. I was a Falcons fan growing up, just being from Georgia. But
I love how we said Falcons fan. We're all Falcons fans, but we're all disappointed.
But Drew Brees is another guy that I had a lot of respect for.
Nice. Last question here: what makes Athens the best college town?
It's just the people that are here, and the vibes that you get walking around campus every day. You see a bunch of happy people, and I think that's what makes it so fun to be around. When everybody's in the best place to go to college, everyone's going to be happy. And so just being around people that want to be here and want to be a part of it, it's so much fun. And then from the baseball side, just, we always do a great job of recruiting great baseball players, but great human beings as well. And so just kind of the relationships that you get from that are something that lasts even longer than baseball will. And so that's something that, you don't get many places. And so just having that opportunity it's unlike any other place. Yeah,
well, y'all have done an incredible job so far. You've had a great start to the season. I'm hoping for a super regional here. I know regional will be nice. I want to see a super regional, and I think the first trip back to Omaha since I was here in 2008 would be a fitting way for your career possibly to end here at Georgia. I know you could probably stay, but there's a lot of things out in front of you and this team, and all the alumni that I'm around are all rooting for you guys. And so it's been a lot of fun to watch so far, and can't wait to see what happens.
Well, we appreciate it. It's going to be the start of a new era for this program.
Yeah, you get to lay the foundation for this new era in Georgia baseball, and you're doing a great job so far.
I appreciate it.
That's Athlete to Athlete with Charlie Condon, the man, the myth, the legend, Georgia baseball, number 24. We'll see you next time.